What's up, everyone? This is Jeremy from Five Finger Death Punch, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe, play it toxic.
Once every generation, there comes an event that alters how we perceive our world. That changes our expectations of what is possible. This is not really one of those events. But hey, Toxic Radio has a brand new studio, and that fucking rocks. So join us in celebrating our excellent new home. Toxic Radio. Awesomer than ever before. What? That is so a word.
Master, dinner is served. Igor, it's not that I don't appreciate the effort, but you know I prefer my meals uncooked. And how many times have I told you about using garlic? Yes, Master. Forgive me, Master. Please. Bite into Paradelphia. Thursday nights at 8, only on Toxic Radio. Paradelphia. Because what if it's all true?
Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch. How about we make rock, not war? Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the heavy metal happy hour with the one and only Fishman.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Get out.
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic.
Enjoying all that Toxic Radio has to offer? Well, make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be the first to find out about ticket giveaways, amazing guests, awesome contests, and Toxic Radio events. Just search Toxic Radio Live, all one word, and press that little button. Every time you do, someone here at Toxic Radio will get their wings. Yay! Well, not really. Aww. But we will get a warm, fuzzy feeling in our tummies. But then again, that just might be the beer. Anyway, like and follow us, and we will see you out there on the interwebs.
Robert England here, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Check it out or die slow.
Bill Shawcross, what's going on, my friend?
What's up, buddy? Welcome back from the DR.
Had a good time. To my left, I have Kent State's own, and he really lived up to the name this week, College Catrell, getting the NCAA bracket champion, correct? What's up, Catrell? Okay. Are you happy to be here?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Dude, you're looking different this week. Like, we're all wearing, like, Wire2Wire shirts.
Yeah.
This man's rocking, like, I think he just went on a date.
I normally have my jersey on, or my Wire2Wire gear. I'm out the routine, but it's all right because Baylor's the champion, and I can say I told you so.
Looks like you just got back.
It's
hanging out with Eddie Murphy.
It's pretty funny because we can go through it real quick. Like the college football national champion, Bill had it spot on with Alabama. The World Series, I had it spot on with the Dodgers. This, you have a spot on with Baylor. Bill had it, and he changed it.
I outthunk myself on that one.
But we've kind of come to an agreement that I'm not getting anything college sports right this year. You got college football. You have college basketball. I'll stick to the pro stuff. But regardless, we have an awesome show to bring to you today. And we're obviously going to start with the tournament. The tournament was amazing. Going from the buzzer beater, Gonzaga over UCLA, to the beating that Baylor put on Houston and then on Gonzaga. I guess let's talk about the national championship game. Let me listen to Catrell break it down. let him have his roses. Catrell starts off.
I mean, it was a game that I feel like we weren't expecting. A lot of us probably thought the game was going to be tight. I know all three of us did. I thought Baylor was going to win. I said that, I've been saying it all year that Baylor was the best team in college basketball. But the problem that Gonzaga had, there was two things to me that was like really clear. The fact that Gonzaga had to come off 2 nights before. They were in the fight of their life, the buzzer beater in overtime against UCLA. That's a lot of wear and tear on your legs, especially the game right before the national championship. And that's a team that only runs, 7 guys like we talked about before the tournament. So it's not like they had a lot of time to, rest and recover in between games. And with that said, they had to go up against Baylor, who was their toughest opponent by far all season. So the athleticism of Baylor really showed. They shot the ball well, and that was the defense that Gonzaga hadn't seen all year.
So, all right, going through that game, I only used an excuse. I said it earlier. I'm not giving Gonzaga that excuse.
No, it's not an excuse, but I think it's worth noting.
It is, but I just don't give Gonzaga that excuse. I don't. What I seen in that Gonzaga team wasn't bad legs. What I seen was them dribbling the ball off their foot. What I seen them was losing a handle. What I seen was a bigger, stronger, more athletic Baylor team pushing them around. I knew that game that Gonzaga was in trouble when the first possession – Baylor had 2 offensive rebounds, and the Vital just bullied Timmy into those rebounds. And if they're going to get that many second chance points, second chance effort, and they're going to hit threes at a rate they hit it in the first half, I said to you guys, it's 88 and out the gate. I picked Gonzaga, and 6 minutes into that game, I'm like, this game's over. And you had to talk me off the ledge. You're thinking I'm trying to pull reverse psychology. I wasn't. I seen right away that Timmy just got abused. And that's just what that is. Bill, what was your thoughts on the game?
I thought when they made the run at the end of the first half to get it to 10, I thought it was manageable. Because, with 3 minutes to go, I think they were down 17. And they cut it to 10. And I really thought they would come out in the second half and maybe get it to a 2-possession game. And then you really start making Baylor think a little bit. And they didn't. It was a replay of the first half. I was really convinced Baylor was going to win after they beat Houston the way they did. I really thought if they came out and played Gonzaga that way, they were going to win, and they did. It was the defense. That was kind of the one thing we harped on all year. We said it, and it was not that it was a concern for you, but you're like, I don't think there's a team that can do it. And it was, is there going to be a team that can guard them, man up, and stay in front of them? And Baylor did, and that was the thing coming in all year with Gonzaga. They were the most efficient offense. They were points per possession at pretty much every efficiency metric across the board offensively. They were in the top 3. They just killed people all year, and they got into a game with a team that had athletes that could stay in front of them. Kispert looked awful. I thought Suggs played okay, but he was a one-man show at that point. Like you said,
it was a one-man show in the second, at the end of the first half and the second half.
But that's all he could do.
Yeah,
it's not his fault though, because I guess it is his fault. But he got in foul trouble early, so he didn't get the rhythm going early. So that's kind of why he started to take off late.
What drove me nuts about that, and me and you will a little bit disagree here. We both seen the game the same way, and I think Baylor's defense was definitely suffocating early. But when it got to the crux of the game, I really think Baylor's offense versus Gonzaga's defense was a bigger problem for that game than the opposite. And, what I seen Baylor shooting 65% at the half from 3, and I seen their offensive rebounds were off the board. They were just dominating the glass.
I don't disagree. I think the offensive rebounding is more concerning at that point if you're a coach in the shooting. Listen, if you're contesting shots and they're just all going in, there's only so much you can do with that when a team shoots that way. But like you said, it was okay, then when they miss shots and you actually get stops and now you're getting out rebounded and they're getting second chance points, Baylor's too good. You're just not going to beat a team that way, especially a national championship game. I don't think the legs played that much a factor. And I'll tell you what, for me it was, I think, and we've talked about it with other sports before, you get the huge emotional letdown after a win like that. You have an overtime to get to the championship. You would have bank in 3, walk off to win it, and then you have to play Baylor in 2 days. That
you could tell Baylor was way more hyped for that game to start that game.
It was it was a perfect storm. Catrell, like he said, they they do only run 7 deep. We talked about that earlier in the year too. They went to overtime. Baylor starters were out 10 minutes to go in the second, or 10 minutes into that second half in Houston, because that game was over. So they were rested and they were ready. Those 3 guards are just, I mean, it was just, again, it ended up being 1-on-3 for Jalen Suggs because Kispert was non-existent. He gave him no help, and that was it.
I'm still not convinced that Baylor was just that much more of a dominant team. I think that was a perfect storm. I think if they played 10 times, Baylor might win 6. I don't think it's a 9-1, 10-0.
I don't think it's that either. But I mean, that's with college basketball though. Like, I think if UCLA and Gonzaga play, I don't think it's 9-1, just because that's just nature of the game.
Okay,
like,
that's fair.
Yeah,
but I do think I think that game showed that Baylor is the better team though.
Yeah, what killed me about Gonzaga was how many just mental errors that they had, just dribbling. Look, Baylor's defense was great, but there were so many plays, just uncontested turnovers where they just dribbled the ball off their knee or like dropped the ball, or they looked really flustered. And I gotta give Baylor's defense credit, but they look flustered and tiny. Yes, the game was kind of boring. I was excited about it, but I turned the last 3 minutes off.
I don't think it was boring.
Well, she said something on a comment earlier, and she said that because how great the Gonzaga UCLA game was. She's just like, I just hope it's a good game.
I said that in the chat. I was just praying it was a good game. And I was, like we all said, I don't think anybody.
It really wasn't like a great game.
It wasn't a great game, but it wasn't boring. I'm just saying it wasn't boring.
I think there's a lot of factors that went into that game. I think that, well, one, Gonzaga really didn't know how they wanted to play Baylor defensively, and I think that showed just based on the mixing of the looks they gave them. I know you throw in looks to kind of just throw people off, but whatever they were doing, it was like, why are you playing zone against Baylor when they're the best 3-point percentage team in the country? And they were just getting to their spots, and it was just
they couldn't. It was evident very quickly they weren't going to play man.
But you got to give up 2s as opposed to 3s.
No. But what they started off playing man. What Baylor did was, if you noticed in the beginning of that game, it was they ran a screen to get Timmy on a guard,
and then they
every time, and they were just abusing him.
They were, but at that
it's
point,
also easier to rebound in his zone.
You gotta not live with.
They got back in the game with the zone.
Yeah, they did.
They did, but at the same time, the zone was getting picked apart once Baylor was getting their guards to the middle, and
correct.
Correct.
They made the adjustment
foul
back.
line,
They
floater.
made the adjustment back, but they got back in the game using that zone. Listen, if you're going to run a zone versus Baylor, you need to run a 1-3-1. They ran a 2-3.
They ran the 1-3-1 like one possession, and they got away from it.
Yep.
They don't have the personnel to run through 1-3-1. Like Baylor could run a 1-3-1.
Correct.
Oh, absolutely.
Because their wings are so fast,
and they got the one that can just shut down.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is too, and you already touched on it. If Baylor's going to come out and shoot 65% from beyond the arc,
not beating them.
You're probably not beating them, but you got to play damn near perfect to stay in the game, and they didn't. It reminds me a lot of they would have had to play like Ohio State when we played you guys. Like, you have to make all your open shots. Like, that game was back and forth, and both those teams shot lights out. That's the only way you get a game that goes down in the end like that. Because if one team doesn't shoot well, and Gonzaga didn't really, for their standards anyway, you get what you got.
Yeah, but I've called it all year, and I thought that Timmy and Suggs were enough to. I always said I love Gonzaga. I hate Kispert. I said that all year. I was not a Kispert fan. I just can't shoot. He can't shoot when someone's sticking him, when he's has someone athletic that he has to shoot around. And for him to be projected to be a lottery pick is a joke. I don't
know how he's a lottery pick.
Dude, if he goes in the top 15, that is a wasted pick.
But I said the same thing with him, though. I was Timmy, for the most part, is going to get his. Suggs is going to be fine, but when you get in a game, if somebody takes him away, he's going to be non-existent, and he was, and it killed them. They got nothing from him.
Yeah, Kispert and Ajayi both had subpar games. Ajayi had a great game versus UCLA.
Yep.
So I got to give him credit because they probably wouldn't be there if Ajayi wasn't 7 for 7 out the gate versus UCLA, just to be clear.
I don't think UCLA, there was a comment up there, I don't think UCLA beats Baylor in that championship game either.
No.
Someone trolling?
Was it a troll? Who said it?
William Joseph.
That's Billy Brancato.
Yeah. No. The answer is no, Bill.
That was a question mark. He didn't say. Oh, okay. No, I don't. I don't think anybody was beating Baylor that night.
That night, no.
No.
But I still think, like, if they played again, I still might favor Gonzaga.
After watching it?
Yeah, like, I'll tell you why. I think that Mark Few made a few adjustments, and Baylor can't shoot 60% again.
Yeah, but they're going to make adjustments too.
It's fair.
My thing is, like, the Kispert situation isn't going to change. So it's like, where are you getting those other 15 points you need?
My whole thing, too, is that I know Baylor lost 2 games in the regular season. We can't forget that happened after they were going on that whole COVID stretch.
Yeah, it came right out of
They were dominant. They were dominant all year long, and you can't. The one knock that I had against Gonzaga all year was the competition that they played. Baylor was tested, so like I knew like going into the big game, I didn't have to worry about them stepping up to the moment. Not saying I was worried about Gonzaga doing it, but like I knew Baylor was tested enough, and they knew like how to play against that top level talent. That was a talent that Gonzaga hadn't seen all year, and I think that
Can't say that. That's not fair.
It is. It's not.
They've
What do you
seen
mean?
them. They played Kansas. They played Iowa. They played.
Wait, does Kansas have Jarrett Butler or what's his name? Valentine?
No, but you're saying Baylor's seen that, like, Baylor. So just because Gonzaga played them earlier in the season, you can't say Gonzaga didn't see a talented teams, like they weren't tested. They played West Virginia. They played Iowa. They played Kansas.
My point
they
is,
played Virginia.
Those teams are different. They were different in December than they are in March. Baylor saw those teams in March. When they saw that Kansas team, was anybody thinking, oh, like they're going to be a top 3 seed in the tournament? No, that's my point.
I mean, to his point, they did play him all the first 2 weeks of the year. I mean, and you see it all the time. Like it could have, like Gonzaga could have went 0-4 in that stretch, and then came back of the year and then made a run. And
they're a whole different team.
Exactly. It does go both ways.
It does, but just to be clear, Gonzaga dominated that tournament outside UCLA. Like before
they did,
Baylor,
but they
dominated.
also didn't play anybody. That's
you can't say anybody.
Why can't I say anybody when they don't play a top 5 seed? The best team they played was the USC team that you're talking about, because they had Evan Mobley. They were a 6 seed. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, but that 6 seed beat a 3 seed.
Okay,
that 6 seed, like that 6 seed got there by beating teams that are in quote unquote you think are real teams.
You have to. Arkansas. It would be different if they had faced Arkansas. If they had faced Houston,
they beat Arkansas.
Wouldn't they beat Arkansas?
USC beat Arkansas.
No, they didn't.
Or who did USC beat? The 6
USC beat Kansas.
Kansas. Okay, so 6 beat 3.
Okay.
So if they've seen Kansas, I get it. But my point being is they beat the teams that
Kansas's best player was coming off of COVID too. Like that's
yeah.
It's a lot of things that go into that. That's not just
listen. They deserve to be there. I'm
yes,
not getting on that boat at all.
Yes, they deserve to be there 100%. But I'm saying they hadn't seen the competition of Baylor. Like it'd have been different if they faced the top 10 team before they saw Baylor in that championship game.
That is why everybody favored the Big 12 and the Big 10 so much in that tournament. And
the Big 10 a lot of tournament.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, worst tournament.
I mean, it's
funny that Michigan still without their best player.
I know.
Made it further than any other Big 10 team.
I was actually kind of proud.
Proud. Yeah, I would be. Proud UM alumni. Just kidding. All right, so any other comments on national championship outside Baylor kicking the shit out of bullying Gonzaga?
I mean, I would just wait to see who declares and who comes back.
And then we'll talk about like what they should be next year.
Yeah, I mean, once the deadline is like, well, it's going to be different this year because the draft's different.
Well, the draft's not like too different. It's like in July.
Yeah, but it's usually June, isn't it?
Yeah, they do the lottery in May. I don't think they're going to do the lottery until June.
And you have to declare way before that. Yeah. So
it's like a month difference.
Yeah. So in like a month, we'll be able to have that conversation because you know he's coming back.
They're saying Johnny Juchang from UCLA might be coming back.
I mean,
he was going.
Is he declared already?
No, he didn't declare, but from what I was reading, it said he was going to go.
The kid at the tournament of his life, his stock is not
I agree.
Higher than it is
but I would
right
still
now.
selfishly, I'd like to see him playing in our college basketball season.
I am not going to lie to you. If he goes back to school, they're probably one of my top 4 teams to make it back.
They're no-brainer.
They're loaded coming back.
Top 5 if he comes back. He's going to be their best player.
The early preseason rankings had Gonzaga, UCLA 1, 2.
They're all coming back, and then...
Well, it's crazy. To kind of get back to the point, like how like the beginning of the year, like Michigan was unranked at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they're saying Timmy will be back next year.
I think Timmy goes.
I just don't know what his stock is. Like, I don't see what he is in the NBA.
Like, live it up.
I don't disagree with you, but if he comes back next year, that team is not going to be as good.
No, because they're losing Kispert and Suggs.
Yeah, his stock's not going to get better next year.
I think if I'm Timmy, I live it up and enjoy another season playing college because he knows he's not going to make it in the pros. What's he going to do in the pros? He can't run that little bullshit layup in the pros. Don't block the shit out of that.
I think he goes.
Okay. I mean, I maybe
you can make money being a hard work. Like you can make money doing the dirty work in the NBA. And I think
what's the ceiling?
I don't know. He can make money. That's all I know.
Is the ceiling a poor man's Sabonis?
No,
he's not even close to that.
I said poor man's Sabonis.
Like
yeah, but he
Sabonis.
can't even like
like homeless Sabonis.
At least in the pick and roll, like Sabonis can threaten the jumper.
Yeah,
Timmy is not.
Like what's his ceiling? Like what's his NBA ceiling?
He's gonna be like a journeyman backup center. But if you can do that and stay in the league for 10 years,
you make
money.
Make
a bunch of money.
You can't be a journeyman backup center if you're gonna get busted your ass on those boards like he did. That can't happen.
He's got to get in the weight room and he's got to work on his shot.
Facts. I love Timmy too. Such an entertaining college player.
He's a really good kid. He's got a great personality. He's great
Hilarious.
character. Yeah, he is. He's definitely a kid that would fit in on any team. Like he's.
To his defense, though, I will say it's not just him though. It's the guys like Luke Garza. I have no clue what he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be a good NBA player.
No, I agree.
He's a talented player, but I don't see where he fits in the NBA. Like
Luke
it's
Garza
just
is like the new. My sister's going to hate that I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it. He's going to be the newest version of Tyler Hansborough.
Yeah.
An absolute legend of a college player that is just not going to do well in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. I agree. I don't think Luka Garza is going to do much in the NBA either. I'm done with college. I want to get into pro.
Gene's had enough.
I had enough. I tapped out. Gonzaga lost. I rode them all the way all season. I didn't lose one game all year when I rode them till the last one.
Did you have like a speech and everything prepared?
No,
for like when they won though.
Not at all.
You were coming. Yeah, you were coming in here with something.
I told you so,
I know.
Bro. I picked the Dodgers. None of it matters. I picked the Dodgers in 6, and I didn't come in here acting like an ass.
No. I mean, here's the good thing. If you listen to one of the three of us, you're going to get something right with every championship because we've nailed all of them so far.
Yeah, everyone.
You just got to figure out who knows what they're talking about.
Well, just don't pick me for college. Although my MMA card was spotless. We're going to talk about that. I was in DR, but
I will say right now I got a championship parlay where I pick like 4 sports and just throw them all in a parlay
for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Like starting with what? Baseball? Oh, so Baylor's checked then.
Yeah.
What else do you have?
Well, how early did you pick Baylor?
It was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
It's not
a week and a half ago.
All right.
You got them at what?
What kind
plus
of
145?
No, they were plus 250.
Wow.
Did you have them before the Final Four?
I think it was like they played to make it to the Final Four.
Okay.
And then they hadn't beat Houston.
They had to win 2 games. That plus 245 makes sense then.
To the Dodgers, which are what? Like plus, they're probably like plus 240.
Let's take a look. I
And
think they were plus 3.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
I would see them
There's
that
a
high.
lot. I think plus 3 is about fair.
And
I wouldn't take them in the 2s. I wouldn't touch them in the 2s.
I mean, if you're parlaying it though, if you put 4 parlays of plus 240 or higher above, that's a lot of money.
I agree.
What else did you take?
I
think the Dodgers are going to win the World
I got
Series.
the Dodgers at plus 350.
Jesus.
The Lakers at plus 300.
It's a loss.
That's a loss.
Baylor at plus 260. Kansas City at plus 500.
I don't know if they're going to win either.
I mean, you might have hit your only one. Maybe 2.
We'll see.
Dodgers.
I hope you win it. That'd be nice.
How much did you put down?
$10
To win what?
It was $3,100.
It's worth it.
For $10?
Yeah. You got the parlay insurance too. All right, so NBA.
Give you $10 back after your loss. That'd be awful.
Yeah, they'll buy him out if he gets 2 or 3 of them. They'll buy him out before
I don't know
football.
if they do that.
100%.
I would definitely quit too. Like I take my money and run.
Out.
They're going to offer you like $500.
Check, please.
For $10, I'm still taking it.
The football one is the one they would wait on though. That's most in their favor.
Tiny said stay away from Vegas on the wire line. All right, so NBA. What I really, we missed a lot of trade deadline stuff, and I wanted to kind of get into NBA and like where teams look after the trade deadline. All right, so like my fun part and like what I want to ask you guys is, how many teams do you think have a chance to win the NBA Finals at this point?
To actually win it?
To win it. I'm serious.
4.
I looked at it.
4.
1, 2.
You have 1 less than me. I have 5, maybe 6.
I'm 6. Wait. Yeah, wait.
I threw. You can tell as I threw this right on them, right?
There's only 2 in the East.
I've
And
three
there's
in
only
the
2 in the West.
East. I have 3 in the East, 3 in the West.
Who's your 3rd in the East?
Milwaukee.
Ah,
I think they can win it. I don't think they will. I think they're the 3rd best odds, but like I think they can win it.
I don't
I
think
don't.
they win it.
Okay, so are we just gonna just spew them out here?
Yeah. So like, all right. So I'll give you odds on them in my opinion. I think the Lakers are the 3rd best odds in the West. I think
Okay, who are
Utah's
your-
second.
That's a joke.
I'm telling you right
if
now.
LeBron's and AD aren't healthy, I can see that, but
Lakers
they're
might
going
not
to
make
be
the
out
playoffs.
first. They'll make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the play-in games.
Are we gonna do power rankings and then get into this? What are we gonna do?
You want to do power rankings?
We'll do. I think if we do power rankings first, then get into this, I think that's a better.
the
segue.
Utah Jazz are not winning a championship.
I agree.
You just can't say they
I
don't have
have
a
them.
chance, though.
I have them 5th.
They're not winning a championship.
All right.
I would take Denver before I take Utah.
I like Denver too, but I didn't put them in there. All right, so we can do top 10.
I did 10.
Okay, let's do 10. Start with your 10.
You just want to go? We'll go like we did the rankings for baseball.
No, give me your 10.
10. 10. I have Miami Heat.
Okay.
9th I have Dallas. 8 I have Portland. 7 I have the Clippers. 6 is Milwaukee. 5th is Denver. 4th is Phoenix. 3 is Brooklyn. 2 is Philly. 1 is Utah. That's as of right now as we sit. Like,
Oh, you did it like you.
yeah, it's power rankings. It's not projections. It's power rankings.
I kind of wanted like I guess me and you just did it differently.
Last time we did this, I did it the way you did it. You were like, no, it's power rankings.
know.
It's current.
You're right. You're right.
All right, so chance to win the championship?
No. This is power rankings as they sit right now. Like, obviously, Lakers are not on my list because they're playing like dog shit and their 2 best players are not playing.
So my 10's gonna be like
All right, well,
towards
I haven't
the
made my 10 yet, so I'm going to do championships.
same.
My 10's going to be Dallas.
Sit over here with my busted list.
My 10's going to be Dallas. My 9 is going to be Miami. My 8 is going to be Portland. My 7 is going to be 7. We will go with the Bucks. We'll go with the Bucks
That low.
at 7. No, actually, we'll go with the
So wait, you're doing championship?
yes.
Okay.
The Bucks at 7. Jazz at 6.
All right, bro.
Jazz at 6. Whoo, this is tough. Suns at 5. Nuggets at 4. Lakers. Oh wait. I'm missing one here.
Yeah, you're leaving somebody off the lists.
Yeah, I definitely messed this
I
one
threw
up.
you up. I threw you guys out of loop here.
No,
it's my fault.
I had my list, so I mean it's easier for me because I can go off of what I have. But
4 Clippers, 4 76ers, 3 Clippers, 2 Lakers, 1 Nets.
Okay. So 10 I have Dallas too. 9 I have Phoenix. I don't have Portland on my list, just to be clear.
That'd probably be the one that I would take back. Probably
see,
move off Portland.
Dallas Portland would be a good series, man. I can't 100% say Dallas is better than Portland. I didn't realize Portland's record was as good as it was till I did this list.
It's a good Portland's very good record. They just don't have any chance to win championship. So your power rankings are right. They're just not going to win the title.
Yeah, but I don't think Dallas has any shot either.
I think Dallas is more of a shot than
Luka.
winning.
When you got a top
Okay, so
when
we
you got
have
a
the same
top 5
team.
player, when you got a top 5, top 10 player on your team, you got a shot.
Okay, they have Damian Lillard, so we're in the same boat again.
Sorry, I did it wrong. I have Portland 10,
That's true.
Dallas 9. Portland 10, Dallas 9, Miami 8. I have Miami over both of them.
You might have way high then.
That's fair. I have
It's not like crazy, but
I have Phoenix 7, the Nuggets 6. Phoenix 7, the Nuggets 6, the Lakers 5, the Jazz 4, the 76ers 3, the Clippers 2, and the Nets 1. Nobody's beating the Nets this year. Sorry. I hate it. No one's beating them. They're better than everybody. The only team that matches up with the Nets, the only team, is the 76ers, and they can't beat them because they need a point guard. Ben Simmons has to play the 3, and George Hill has to play point guard for them to have a chance of winning that series.
we had George Hill in damn court.
That's my point. And they're gonna have to be able to play together, restructure their entire offense because as constructed now, they don't have a snowball's chance in hell of beating Brooklyn.
I mean, Brooklyn's got to be healthy.
Correct. That's fair. With all
Are
teams
they
healthy.
ever going to play a lot of games together. Like,
No, I mean,
it seems
they're saying Harden's out at least probably 2 weeks now. So I mean, they're not gonna have a lot of time together before the playoffs start. The West is gonna be an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah,
I know.
I agree. I don't think it's just necessarily a foregone conclusion that Brooklyn's gonna win. I think if, like you said, if everybody
so
can
much
stay,
talent there.
if everybody can stay healthy, of course they have to be the odds-on favorite. But I just feel like that Brooklyn team, it's a lot of star talent on there, and they haven't really played together. They got to find that chemistry, and we all said it. They don't play defense. I get that they could score 130 points tonight if they wanted to, but at the end of the day, you got to play defense. Like, sometimes teams are going to be able to, score with them, and I'm not saying that teams can shut them down, but
they're not going to be able to score in 4 out of 7 games. They're too talented. And they have to have bad nights too many times in a row. And if you can score that many possessions down the court, like, listen, I get it. Here's the stat to argue against my own point. No team in the last 25 years has won the NBA Finals without being top 5 in defense. Brooklyn Nets are 23rd. My point being is that's a stat. That's against my argument.
Yeah.
But I still think they're too talented. I look at that team, and I look at LA, and I look like LaMarcus Aldridge, and I look at Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan as being like their 5th, 6th, and 7th pieces. You get Joe Harris, who shoots the lights out, Kyrie, KD. Brooklyn could put up 50. Our Joel could put up 50 versus Brooklyn. Travis, it doesn't matter because we're shooting 2s and they're shooting 3s. We're not built the right way. I love the 76ers.
I think
Brooklyn is the reason I hate the NBA, though.
Yeah, that's fair. I can agree with that.
The fact that that
I don't hate the NBA
remotely allowed to happen is insane.
Yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge shouldn't be able to sign for the veteran minimum, especially when it's a $19 million contract. Just buy him out and here, just gonna pay for the veteran minimum.
Move they have on that team really is KD because he went there as a free agent.
And
KD
Kyrie.
and Kyrie.
Well, Kyrie was already there. I'm saying.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
The rest of it is all. It's all like doing like the dumb stuff you're allowed to do in the NBA.
Well, the James Harden trade, it was a legit trade, but
he forced himself out.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
Stuff, if that stuff's like that, cool. But like, I'll let you out your contract. I'll trade you when you go. Pay me back the contract money. Like that. Like that's why the NBA turns a lot of people off. I'm off. Like, listen, I know we bust LeBron's balls and like all that stuff, and that's fine. He never did anything like that.
No,
like he chose where he went, and he kind of brought Bosh with him. D Wade was already there. You go somewhere as a free agent, like when that's your willingly, that's your choice to go. You can't.
And they financially strapped that team by putting all those 3 there. And they had to cut everybody to get those 3 there, and then sign other people on veteran minimums.
I have no problem with that, but like Aldridge is the same thing. Like he got pissed, and Pop was like, "All right, well, like I'm not going to keep you on the team. Like we're going to buy you out.
We're winning without you anyway."
Yeah, so we buy him out, and like you said, and then you get a player of that caliber, and he goes and signs in Brooklyn for the veteran minimum because they have an exception. He's already made all his money. He doesn't care. Like it's stuff like that. That annoys me. That's why college basketball better than the NBA.
So who do you have winning the NBA Finals?
I'm with you. It's Brooklyn. Unless
something
you have
the Lakers?
Happens.
No, I'm gonna go with Brooklyn.
Okay,
on
so
record, but
let's for fun try to match up against Brooklyn. Okay, so what team do you think has the best chance of knocking Brooklyn off? By the way, taking it deep with D. Godfrey commented, and I want to comment on this. He said, "Does Harden disappear in the playoffs?"
Yes,
he can. On that team, he could just pass the ball. It doesn't matter.
I was going to say that, but he's not going to on that team.
Correct.
He's not going to put up 35, but he's going to put up 20, but he's probably going to have 15 assists.
Correct.
And if he does that and Kyrie and Katie are shooting, you're done.
But the problem, though, is like with that team, just to be devil's advocate here, with that team, when you have Kyrie and you have James Harden, if they're having off nights and they keep shooting the basketball, then teams are going to be in a, advantageous situation. I'm not saying that you have to bank on that, but I think that's very possible and that could happen. Where
I'm 100% with you. The only thing that I would argue against that is the few games and everything they have played together, they haven't done that.
They haven't.
And if they don't do it, if they don't, for lack of a better term, self-destruct, you're not beating them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that'll be the night that Blake Griffin has 18 out of nowhere, and then there's just too much.
So you're going to GM one of the NBA teams and build the team that can give them the best shot. So what team do you think can give them the best shot?
Wait, you said like when you say build, just mesh together a team, or like?
I'll tell you why in a minute.
We got to answer your question before.
Yeah.
Like who do you think the best shot is?
That's my point.
I would say
the same question. I'll tell you why. What I mean is like I'm going to change the starting lineup. Like I have to change
All right,
my
but-
team starting
okay,
line.
but so we're not adding players.
No, no, no.
Okay, gotcha.
What team's best constructed to knock off Brooklyn?
For me, I would say the Clippers, just because of they have. I'm not saying
3 dogs. They have 3 dogs.
yes. You
I get it.
can match up PG, Kawhi, and then Patrick Beverly against those 3 in Brooklyn.
Well, I would match up playoff Rondo instead of Pat Bev. I love Pat Bev, but
Pat Bev defensively, I would take over Rondo.
playoff Rondo is a different Rondo.
I understand that, but defensively, I'm taking.
I would rather have
Pat
playoff
Bev.
Rondo on the court than Pat Bev. I can't have both.
No, you're not gonna have both, but
Beverly like chasing like. See, that's tough, man. Beverly gets to people's heads.
yeah,
He does. But Kyrie's too crazy to get in his head.
James Harden's not though. James Harden's
That's
gonna
fair.
melt down.
That's fair. So you're gonna have PG on Kawhi on
They
Kyrie.
Here's the thing. On that side of the ball, I love the Clippers. I just don't know if the Clippers score enough.
You know the Clippers are number 1 in the league in shooting threes. I couldn't believe that when I seen that.
Over Utah?
Yeah, they're number 1. Utah's 2.
Utah's like
Look it up.
8 million threes made already.
I-
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It's like
that surprises
3-point
me.
percentage, I think it is. Or
Oh, is it? Well,
I think
that
it's
might be
percentage.
different.
I think it's percentage.
Okay. I would say
Just put number 1 3-point shooting team in the league.
I'm pretty sure Utah's the most made.
As of a week ago, it's Clippers. I don't know if they're the most made, but I know they have the best.
Oh no, I'm
percentage.
agreeing with you. Percentage is probably because Utah has games where they're.
I'm interested to see what the
Percentage wise, yes, the Clippers are number 1.
Yeah.
3-pointers made per game, it is the Jazz.
stats. See, we both were right. What's the world
Teamwork
coming
makes
to?
the dream work.
What is this world coming to? We didn't argue. So you're saying the Clippers are, and
Yes.
and it makes perfect sense. That's my second. That would be my number 2.
They were number 2 for me.
Who's your one?
Denver.
Okay, let me hear it. Break it down.
I think Denver can. I don't want to say slow the game down. Aaron Gordon is actually very good defensively. He'll be able to take one of them out. I think the way they play and the way they spread the ball around, and they can score from all 5 positions now. They will be able to score very easily on Brooklyn. I think it's not going to be hard for them to generate offense whatsoever. They can either run through Jokic if they want to. They have Aaron Gordon now. Jamal Murray's healthy. I think it's a very close series, Denver and Brooklyn.
Okay, mine's the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me tell you why. I'll give you my breakdown of why. I'm changing the lineup though. I need George Hill to start. I need Matisse Thybulle to start. And my lineup is George Hill, Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid.
How do you score more points than that team?
I'm trying to.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, defensively,
it makes sense.
Right.
So I want Matisse Thybulle following around James Harden, and I want Matisse Thybulle to play him and get in his head and really try to screw him up. The best matchup in the entire NBA for Kevin Durant, the only guy that can match him size, athleticism,
It's Ben.
strength is Ben.
It's
There's
Ben.
nobody in the NBA that's a better matchup defensively on Kate. And here's how I run my offense. Ready? I try to limit their possessions. I try to limit them shooting threes. I run them off the 3-point line. And every offensive possession I get Joe. Get Joe. Joe's got to score 50 for this to happen.
Does Kyrie just dominate George Hill?
Yeah,
though?
but the problem though is that
Does he?
if
Oh,
you
man,
double
this can.
if you double Joe, who does he kick it out to?
George
Like
Hill can shoot.
He can
And
shoot.
I'm going to need Tobias Harris to shoot.
But if I get
You're gonna
like
need Toby to
if
score.
I double
Yes,
if,
25 a game.
Correct.
if I double off of Ben's guy or I double off of
Well, you don't want to double
Thybulle's
off Ben's guy.
'cause
That's
he can
the
slice
worst guy.
He can slice to the lane. I
That's
got
the
you.
worst guy double.
I got you. But if he's just like standing in the corner somewhere, like I'm not saying top of the key, but like depends on where they're at positionally. How you double off of?
But they're gonna if they did hypothetically run with this lineup, they're gonna do what Gene said. Ben's gonna play the 3. So at that point, he's not gonna be out and about the 3-point line. If you keep him down low with JoJo, he's gonna go to town on Kyrie or who's ever guarding him. He's just gonna take him down low and score. He will score.
He can body Kevin.
Of course he will. So I mean that's what you're gonna do. So it's a matter. Your only legitimate weak link offensively then is Matisse, and then you got to hope if you leave him open enough, the kid will shoot, and then you just got to hope he makes like 2 of his first 3 or 4 or 5, and then you have to guard him because then if he gets in the zone, that'll kill you.
My point is, I just think that if I'm Brooklyn, I'm not letting Joel kill me. I can live with.
It's impossible. Nobody can stop him.
So I'm saying you double him.
Triple him. Doesn't matter. Too big.
You start smacking. You can get away with doubling him and it make him uncomfortable. I'm not saying you shut him down. That's not going to happen. He's the best big man in the game. But you double him, you make him uncomfortable, make him make the extra pass to the guys. And I'm okay with letting the Sixers shoot from 3 with that lineup. Obviously, they got the guys that can shoot. But, like, if Tobias Harris hits 45, 50% from three-point range in that series, then so be it.
I'm trying to find a way to keep Brooklyn under 120 points. And that's why I created that little mythological lineup. I think Seth Curry needs to come off the bench as soon as George Hill starts playing. I think you need to change the rotation to where you have George Hill starting with Danny Green, because I like Shake being your 6th man, and Seth is my 7. And like your playoff rotation for the 76ers, he's going to have 9 people. No team runs 9 in the NBA playoffs. The Sixers are going to have to run 9.
Yeah, but they'll be able to run 9 quality, though.
Correct.
You literally tell Danny to go out and play for 15 minutes a night.
And Dwight's going to have to give.
And just be like, you got to empty the tank. Like, I need everything you have for 15 minutes. But if you get that out of him and he makes a couple shots here and there, you're probably all right. You'll save his legs.
So Mike Scott, Furkan, you can just leave them at the back end of the bench, not playing the playoffs.
Keeping Mike Scott was the worst thing in the world.
He's so Philly, though.
Listen, as I love him, but
same.
It's it's like he's a great guy to have on that bench. So
the 11th, 12th guy, not paid $5 million a year, but whatever.
Well, that's the problem.
All right, any team do you think that can really match up with Brooklyn? Like I'm going to argue my 76ers are their worst matchup. You're arguing the Clippers. I want to hear it from home. You're arguing Denver. With Aaron Gordon, that's a huge argument. I want to hear it from home. If you guys want to comment, Mike will put it on the wire line. What team matches up best with Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn's the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title. And I don't think LeBron's got it. I think LeBron might want to stay home for this playoff series. You don't want to get a finals again and get dominated 4-1. Because that's what's going to happen if the Lakers play Brooklyn. I'm sorry. And it's not LeBron's fault because LeBron didn't do this crap. LeBron didn't do this crap that Brooklyn's doing.
I agree. I said that earlier. As much as the decision thing was like crap, that was more about how he did it versus what he did.
Correct. Yes. I agree.
Agreed.
He's a free agent. He's free to go wherever.
Furkan's a liability taking D. Godfrey. He's a liability defensively, and he's got to be shooting on fire to play. He said, "What's wrong with Furkan?" Just sorry for anybody listening at home.
He can't guard anybody in this room. That's number one.
Probably guard me. Fat and slow.
Maybe. Listen, I think the biggest thing with the Sixers is, and to your point, like you said, like get Hill on the floor, and then like everything they do really has to be geared towards Brooklyn. They're obviously they are very concerned with getting the 1 seed, and it's important. If you get the 1 seed, that means if everything holds true, then Brooklyn and Milwaukee got to play each other before they get to you. Nobody else in the East really worries me. I mean, Toronto's falling apart. Boston's imploding as we speak.
Miami would be the only one, but if they stay at 6, you don't have to see them.
But that and
most likely,
and they really haven't gotten it together either. I mean, like we all kind of thought they were going to. I mean, and they're banged up too. I mean, so it's.
I just think that with them adding Victor Oladipo, I know they haven't gotten it all together yet, but them adding Victor Oladipo to that team that was in the finals last year that's something that.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't want to play.
I wouldn't want to play them.
Those kids just aren't playing the way they played last
year. Yeah, you're right.
Though.
You're talking about Duncan and Tyler.
They're not having the same years. Goran's been hurt. I mean,
Goran's getting older, bro.
He is. But
I remember Goran back like the Phoenix Suns days. Like,
he used to ball out. I mean, but again, it's just and Jimmy's a year older. I mean,
Jimmy's not really showing the wear like the other kids are. I think I think Duncan Robinson had like the greatest season ever for a guy, and this year he's kind of showing a little bit why he got drafted where he did.
Well,
still a good player. Just
I mean, it was kind of an argument last year, and you yelled at me about it.
He shot the lights out last year.
He did, but I also said it was a possibility. Like that was their career years, and you're like, oh, they're gonna get better.
I thought Tyler Hero would get better. That was the one argument I made.
Maybe
huge one. All right, before we move on to MLB, I got to take a second. I really want to shout somebody out, and I want to talk about. So if you're looking for a hardworking, honest team of home improvement needs, look no further than Martin Contracting. They give honest appraisals and are looking to earn your business long term. The owner's Ryan, a friend of ours. He's an Army vet, and he prides himself in morals and integrity. I think that, right now they're really specializing in roofing, especially after everything that happened with the snow and the rain leaks. He came over and gave an estimate at my place to help out we had a problem on a roof. Our landlord hired their own people, but Ryan's a great guy. And if you're looking to hire someone to do anything inside or outside the house, give him a call. It's 215-756-7456. Mention the Wire2Wire guy sent you, and I'll give you 10% off any roof replacements. The guy's awesome, and if you need anything done inside or outside the house and you want an honest appraisal, give Ryan a call. He's awesome. Thank you. I know you. Do you want to add on to that? Because you know Goody just as well as we do.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it all. I mean, he's a good guy. Again, Army vet, served this country. I know he's been, I keep seeing him sporadically, but I think him and that company, they just got back from Texas. They went down there. They helped a ton of people out that were in bad situations down there after that ice storm they had, and people didn't have power and had damage to their homes. Again, I mean, if you don't want to deal with a big company that's looking at nothing but profit margin, somebody that's gonna look in the eye and take care of you, I mean, give him a call.
100%. He's just a super honest guy that lives his life by morals and integrity, and I think that's really important, and especially in that type of business. We got to move on. We got MLB. You got a couple questions that you want to ask us. I can't wait to hear these. So Bill, let me just give you guys a preface. Bill created a little bit like a hot or not, or like a
it's like a buy or sell
list off the first 5-6 games of the MLB season, and he didn't let us know. He's like, I'm not letting you guys know because I want you to be surprised on the air when he asks the questions. I hope he doesn't ask anything too wild. But no, I'm kidding.
I mean, there's nothing wild. I mean, I think it's stuff that if you watch the opening weekend of baseball, I think there's a lot of things that people thought were going to be one way going in, and after the first week, I mean, I think you could ask legitimate questions to go against them.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. Make it juicy.
The first one's good. I mean, I know we have a lot of fans of this team. Buy or sell, Boston could possibly finish last in the AL East.
Buy.
So
I think they could finish last in the AL East.
They're not going to finish worse than the Orioles.
I think. They've
they've
won 3 straight games though.
Baltimore is.
better
than we thought.
I am not buying into a week of baseball. No, they're not getting
me.
me.
Just before we get anything started, I had Boston and Baltimore at the bottom of the AL East regardless.
Yes.
You can flip-flop them, but I definitely can buy them being the worst team.
Correct, but I think everybody unanimously probably had Baltimore finishing dead last and losing 100 games again. This one's actually the better one for that division. I know your answer to this probably already. Toronto Blue Jays can win the AL East.
So I don't think they can. I don't think they can win the NL. I think that the Yankees are just too strong, but I definitely can see Toronto being second and making the playoffs in that division and making a run from second. But over a 162-game season, I just can't. I have to sell the fact that they're not going to win that division.
I say buy, just because of. Now I know before last week I didn't pick the Blue Jays to win the division, but I think they do have a chance to win that division. One, because we saw them play the Yankees. Start off the kickoff opening weekend, and they held their own. They gave Garrett Cole all he could handle. He had a great outing, but they scored on him. That Blue Jays team is really talented, and for the Yankees, it's a question of will they hold up. They always get injured every year, it seems like. So I think it's possible if the Yankees go on a little cold streak and the Blue Jays are just consistent throughout the year.
It's a buy for me as well. I think the biggest issue I had with the Yankees, I think, was kind of brought to light in that series. I don't know if they have enough pitching, and I'm sure by deadline time they will probably go out and get somebody. But Toronto's better. I think Toronto's better and more well-rounded than I thought they were after I watched 2 of their games this season.
So I just want to make a point to that.
Okay.
Pitching really matters in baseball in April, September, and October. And really matters. It matters all the time, obviously. Yeah. But what ends up happening in baseball is people get fooled in the hitting weather. Charlie Manuel used to always say, it's hitting weather. When the weather gets warm, you're not going to be able to keep the Yankees in the ballpark. They're going to win too many games. I could buy Toronto beating the Yankees in a 7-game series. I could buy Toronto being the AL representative in the World Series. I could buy that. What I can't buy is them over 162-game season, over hit and weather, May, June, July, and August, them outscoring them.
But they don't have to just outscore the Yankees, though. Like, they just got to be consistently winning. And I think, to Bill's point, when the Yankees have Severino and Kluber as their 2 and 3 guys that keep, they're consistently hurt. I know the Yankees can outscore anybody, but at some point it is going to matter who you put on the mound if you don't have like anybody else, if those guys get hurt.
Hey, listen, fair point. I understand your end of it. I'm just giving my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like Stan didn't play tonight already, so
shocker. They're so deep though.
They are.
They are, but I mean, you need some listen, they're impressive now because of the bottom. Like Gary Sanchez is not going to hit 300 this year.
No, I agree.
So, all
catcher number 10.
Yeah, that's all going to tail off. I saw this as a prop on a site, and then I actually read something else about it, so I put it on the list. This is near and dear to your heart.
Cool.
Julio Urias, buy or sell, can win 17 games as the 4th starter for the Dodgers.
Sell. He doesn't pitch enough innings. Listen, I love Urias. I'm a huge Urias fan. I think Urias is going to be a quality starter in Major League Baseball for the next 12 years. I don't think he can win 17 games because he doesn't pitch. He throws too many pitches. I think that he'll be a six inning guy, and I think that too many games get decided in the late end of the games.
Yeah, but are they going to with that team?
Yeah.
If he pitches 6 innings and leaves with a 4-1 lead all the time, he's going to win.
Yeah, but it could be a 2-2 game. It could, honestly,
Jets did blow the game today, but
I'm gonna sell that. 17's a lot of wins.
I'm selling it too. 17 is a lot, especially for your number 4 guy.
And I love Urias too. I'm a huge Urias fan.
I'm going to sell it, but slightly. I think he gets really close.
I can see 14.
I'm saying 15 or 16. I think he gets really close.
Okay, that's fair. I don't disagree that he's going to be a good starter.
I don't know.
I think he should be in your playoff rotation too.
That's going to be really interesting because there's only one person that can come out of that rotation. So, because the 2 righties are not coming out.
Well, my point is, I think they should start 4. They should start 4 starters.
I mean, they can in the best of 5 at the beginning. Again, it depends how the beginning of the games go. I mean,
if they're down 3-1, maybe it's a different story. But my point being is, if they're winning a series 2-1, I would definitely start him in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, if they get up 2-0, that's a case where you might see them rest a Bueller or a Bauer, so they have them for Game 1 and Game 2 of the next series. That all depends on how the schedule plays out, and I mean, you got to watch at the end of the year. It's a luxury that most teams are going to love to have. If they, for some reason, go to a 3-man rotation, I mean, it'll be interesting.
Okay.
I don't know how much longer.
Give me some more.
Be able to play the old Clayton card. What was the next one?
I don't even know what that means. That was like a jet.
Buy or sell, Phillies can win the East.
Sell. I love the Phillies. They're not winning the East.
So.
See, the problem with the Phillies is this, and listen, everybody looking at we're 5-1. That's great. The Philadelphia Phillies are 5-1 with 2 starters. Zach Eflin pitched a very good 3rd start, and he's going to be a mediocre starter all year, and their 4th and 5th starters stink.
He's going to be inconsistent.
Matt Moore and Chase Anderson stink. You know what you need for the Phillies to win that division? A, you need to bring up the kid. He needs to come up sooner rather than later.
He'll come up as soon as he can.
And then B, you need Spencer Howard, yeah. And B, you need to make a trade deadline move to get another starting pitcher. That's what needs to happen. The Phillies have to be within 3 games of the division by the trade deadline. Have Spencer Howard be your 3 or 4, and then you trade to get somebody in here to be your 3.
But that's where Dombrowski comes in.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if he does, then.
But as currently constructed, they're not winning the East.
I think it's closer than we thought it was before.
Yeah, that's fair. You sold too?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me why.
Same thing with the Orioles. I am not bought in on 6 games of baseball.
Don't mention the Phillies in the same breath as the Orioles.
No.
Same
you guys,
thing with the Orioles. No.
It's not like their team caliber wise, they're the same level as them, but the same reason.
I get it.
I'm not bought into 6 games of baseball.
What's the fun of buy or sell 6 games in if you're just not going to buy anything?
No, but it's 5-1.
Yeah, stop being stingy.
5-1 is not. It's not enough for me to say the Phillies are winning the East.
That's fair.
For the Phillies to win the East, that means one of the teams that I think could possibly win the world, or at least go to the World Series, aren't making the playoffs, and I just
Braves
don't
just
see
got
that
their
happening.
first win today.
Barely.
Yeah, I know.
Cunha
went off.
He's the only one that's hitting.
And then
that's part of the problem.
Did you know what scared me about Soto? They've walked him like 7 times. Well, 4 times in the first game. Like they've walked him like so many times. Scaring me right now. Don't keep walking Soto. I want to see him hit.
That's what teams are going to do.
I know. He's really good.
Until somebody they can put behind him that can beat him.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
Where's Trey Turner
I love it.
in their lineup normally?
He's leading
Lead
off.
off. He had a good game today. He hit a home
I
run.
was gonna say I know he's been hitting. I just
He hit
don't
a
know
home
where
run.
he's been at.
He hit 2-run homer.
I said he hit a home run.
Oh, I thought you said he didn't hit a home run.
Yeah. He's listen.
I've been watching a lot of baseball.
Trey Turner would have been a top 5 shortstop for the last 3 or 4 years if he could stay healthy. He's just always hurt. He's always hurt.
Yeah, so Jeff Barone made a really good comment on the wire line. The Phillies' bigger issue is center field. We have 4 guys that can play it and all suck.
They don't all suck.
I don't know.
You just can't put the one guy in there.
Yo, here's the funny part, ready? If you took all the attributes of the 4 people he's talking about that can play center field and put them all together into one baseball player, he's still pretty average. Like Roman Quinn's speed, like Mickey Moniak, what are we talking about?
I think Moniak's going to come up with Spencer Howard.
See that's and you need him to play well.
And I don't want to get into the discussion about the other one, but if you're making it strictly on baseball, he would have been your opening day center fielder.
Oh,
but you can't. So
I get it. Braves won 2 today, apparently. Paul. Yeah, I guess they won the second half of the.
So they beat Strasburg then.
Yeah.
Listen, that division is they're gonna beat the crap out of each other all year. I mean, I think the Phillies are better positioned. The Mets are the Mets. I mean, adding Frankie's going to be great, but they still have huge holes in that lineup. And you can say what you want about the Phillies rotation, but after DeGrom, I mean, I would borderline take the rest of our rotation over what they have right now.
Marcus Stroman's a good pitcher.
He didn't pitch last year. We'll see what he does. I mean, he got beat the other day. I mean,
he's still a good pitcher. It's 1 start.
He is. You got to see what he does. Obviously, you need Carrasco to come back, and then it's all a matter of when they get Thor back too.
What's the expectation on Thor? July, June?
They're saying July. I mean, you just never know when you're gonna get those guys. Like he still isn't ramped up yet. Like he's throwing hard. Like he's throwing as hard as he can, but he's throwing 20 pitches every 5 days. You're not gonna know what you get with him until you start. He starts throwing full bullpens and simulated games. That's where those guys start having issues sometimes. Then all of a sudden, now it gets sore. Now it gets tired. And he's going to want to pitch because it's a contract year. They're going to want to pitch because they think they make the playoffs. But the last thing he wants to do is have Tommy John again. So you got to see how he comes out of it. I pray to God he's a Philly next year. I would love for him to be.
I'm with that.
I would love for him to be in Philly.
All right. Any more?
The only other one I had was something about Tatis, but it's kind of null and void now because he got hurt, so it's kind of unfair to even talk about it.
How bad did he get hurt? I didn't see.
They're saying he doesn't need surgery, but that's kind of all they said. So I don't know.
Need surgery.
He doesn't need surgery.
He doesn't. Yeah,
doesn't
that's
need
good
surgery.
at least.
The good part about that is he probably did no damage to his labrum, which was the key to the whole thing. So I think he'll be back sooner than later. They have enough offense.
What was the question though?
Was his contract too soon? And that was more based off how he was hitting and the fact that he had 4 errors in 4 games. People forget they were going to try to make him a center fielder too. That doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
And then he had that spring training in the beginning of the year where he's making all those crazy catches and we got to leave him at shortstop. But, I mean, he was making dumb errors too. He's throwing the ball all over the place. So that was the other one. Buy or sell was his contract too premature. Now he got hurt, so I really don't.
We'll skip that one.
Yeah.
We got to get into our fun little 1 seeds for our coaches bracket.
Got him.
So we are starting a fictional coaches bracket, just like we do over a GOAT bracket. By the way, Wayne Gretzky taking it deep with D. Godfrey. Little plug to another show. But Wayne Gretzky won the GOAT bracket 14-9. I wish we had more participation on that. Like, I felt like we have a ton of people listening to the show, a ton of people comment, but Wayne Gretzky won the GOAT bracket over Michael Phelps. And yes, I did 100% change the rules of that contest to make sure that the listeners voted, because I already got outvoted, and I didn't want to lose. So that was me being a crybaby.
Hashtag not my GOAT.
But we have a fictional sports coaches bracket, which we think is really fun. So we put together our 1 seeds. We're gonna put like a whole bracket together.
We're gonna do 32. So there's gonna be 4. It'll be just like a basketball bracket. You'll have East, West, South, and West. So you'll have 8 coaches per bracket. It's anybody who is a sports team coach in either a TV show or a movie.
Okay, so
we can do the. Yeah.
You give a 1 seed, I'll give a 1 seed, you give a 1 seed, and then Bill, take us home.
All right. Well, then I'm taking the one I want then. So, Catrell, I'm sorry.
You're going to take my guy.
Yep. He's my guy, too.
It's not my guy, so it's okay.
Not my coach. Number 1 seed in the South will be Eric Taylor from Friday Night Lights.
The number 1 seed in the East will be Herman Boone from Remember the Titans.
You guys took two that I wanted.
You want to do the Midwest? It's perfect for the other guy.
No, that's literally the only guy that got moved really geographically was your guy.
Who?
Well, they coached at Virginia. Remember the Titans?
No. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
No,
Wait,
I have Boone. What? I had Boone in the East, and I have Taylor in the South.
Okay.
Midwest, I have
Normandale, right?
No.
Hoosiers.
Minnesota.
I would went to Indiana.
I went with
So wait. How are we doing these 1 seeds here? Are we just picking our own? Is that what?
No, it's not the 4 that we agreed upon. It's just I actually put them in regions.
It's still the 4 that we agreed upon.
So
we're just putting them in fun regions.
Yeah.
What's the? I think I'm lost here. What's the region that we're going next? Then
you can pick whichever one you want. You've Midwest or West.
I'll go Midwest.
All right, go ahead.
It said Normandale. Normandale's our
Normandale from Hoosiers.
Yeah, he's gonna be in our Midwest.
Okay.
Patches O'Houlihan will 100% be on this list.
He's in
Nick
it.
Dolis. He's
in
100% in it. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
So that means Mr. Hockey is going out west, so he'll be the 1 seed in the West.
Well, it's perfect. He coached L.A. with the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, he's from Minnesota.
I get it, but he coached in L.A.
Gordon Bombay.
Gordon Bombay from the Ducks. Got to go Gordon Bombay.
Yeah.
We got you, Porter. We got you, Paul. So our number 1 seeds. Now, there's a lot more. There's to be some upsets in this bracket.
There absolutely is. I mean, I think I don't want to give anything away, but we've all talked about the number 2 that I think, depending on where he goes, could win.
100%. I also want to make sure we get 2 Remember the Titans coaches on there. Like, their D coordinator was pretty solid. Hall of Fame coach right there.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get to 32. That's the number.
Well, that will help.
Yeah, it'll help.
He'll probably be 31.
No, that's fine. So it's gonna be fun. I think we'll do first round next week.
Jeff said Lou Brown. Jeff, 100% Lou Brown's on the list. Lou Brown could have been a 1 seed. Lou Brown is awesome.
Lou Brown is a sleeper to win the whole thing.
Yes, correct. If it's a leg thing, if it's a heart thing, if it's alcohol, whatever. If it's a heart attack, who used heart attack? Me. I love it. We're gonna have fun with this, guys.
I love this shit. I may move to England. So many dudes. If there was going to be another guy that could have been
Coach Yost, that's Coach Yost.
Yes, Coach Yost is the other guy from Remember the Titans.
Facts. Now the question would be: could we line him up in a 1-16 or 1-8 matchup versus Herman Boone and like a little Remember the Titans? Who was really the good coach because their defense was legendary. Coach Yost had that defense rolling.
I mean, he made him win the championship game. I don't know.
Listen, I don't want them to gain another yard. We're gonna have fun with this, guys.
You could put him in the East.
100%.
All right. that'll be the 1-8 matchup.
All right.
Putting Herman Boone to the test right
Chubbs will be on there. Stop it, taking it. Chubbs is on there. We got you.
Yeah. Like, listen, when we finally reveal the bracket, I guarantee you, if you've watched sports movies, you'll know every single name on this list.
Yep.
Because we have the 16 we already have. They're all from super popular either TV or movies. And there's some that were left off that we felt were egregious, so we moved it to 32. Denzel was not even on the original one, which is crazy. I don't know what they're just thinking. Maybe it's not that fictional because it was like real. I guess.
But there's but there's a nice amount of coaches that like are based on actual coaches. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So
can we get Whoopi Goldberg on there? He coached the Knicks, bro.
Maybe if she makes top 32. Catrell's got a good sleeper too. I'm not gonna give it away, but
I do.
We discussed it after the show last week. Yep. And she's gonna win a round or two probably.
I love that.
Now the question is, we decide are we doing like,
let's reveal one bracket each week.
That's gonna take forever.
You want to do it all in one show?
No, I was saying if we could reveal every bracket next week and just do the first round, go round by round.
That's fair.
My thing was going to be how are we going to vote? Are we doing how we did the GOAT bracket?
I think we should do the first 2 rounds by the GOAT bracket, and then when we get to the Elite 8,
let them vote.
Everyone.
I'm for that. That's fine.
Everyone. This way I can't cheat when we get to the end.
Yeah.
Because I would have.
Your one's getting knocked out.
No.
Dude, he's the weakest one.
We're talking about which one? The East one or the Midwest one?
Midwest.
Okay, all right.
That's what I meant.
I don't think he's the weakest one, but so let's get a Masters talk. Got a lot of people waiting on Shalley's pick for Masters, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to own the Masters. Shalley's wrong. I got it. I'm gonna be PGA Gene.
That'd be awesome if you were
PGA.
PGA. It's a new nickname. I'm going with it next week. After my guy wins the Masters, I got 2 picks. And if one of them doesn't win, I'm walking here next week. Not walking here next week. It's really far.
All right, Sammy, we're back to the traditional date. The course.
So, I got to address Catrell's wife. All I just said, you have to make it a real legit poll to make it fair count. Let's just be clear. The votes for Michael Phelps last week were Bill, Catrell, Audia. Like, stop it. Let's act like it's a fair vote.
Audia went Phelps?
Of course she did.
Of course she did. She voted for, like, let's not, yeah, that's what it was.
No.
You guys Tiny, hop on here and vote for my guy.
No.
Get out of here.
We go with the guy that wins the most.
All right, but we got the Masters coming. PGA Tour.
You better practice saying that.
Hey, I'm not. It's not going to be a thing. But I'm going to win the Masters. And I'm putting serious money on both these guys. I got 2. And, I would bet them both. One to win and one to place top 10. And then you're going to guarantee you win your money.
Correct. Listen, I've already gotten a bunch of questions and texts and everything about this the last couple of days because they knew we were going to go over it. If you're picking somebody to win and they win, you're going to win a lot of money, like a lot of money. Like what Gene just said, this is the same thing as NASCAR. If you want to make a lot of money betting these golf tournaments, you bet guys to win, play in the top 10. Most betting sites will let you pick like 3 or 4. It's almost like a parlay. But even if you want to pick a guy to get in a top 10, like a big name is still going to be plus like
950.
Yeah,
if they're
like and if they hit, like again, you're making all your money back no matter what you do.
No, they're not plus 950 to make top 10. They're plus 9
to win. To win.
Yeah,
they're like plus 130 to make the top 10.
But they're like guys that you can almost like
guarantee will be there.
Yeah, so that's what you want to do. Like always hedge. If you're going to make a bunch of bets for guys to win, hedge your bets with a couple guys to finish in the top 10. Masters especially, the one thing that's unique about the Masters is it's a major. They play on the same course every year. Playing there a lot matters. So when you're coming down to like a guy that's played it twice versus a guy that's playing it 10 times.
This is it. I get it.
This
is the little dig. He's taking a dig.
No, I'm not taking a dig. I'm saying that is why you see guys like Freddie Couples plays 4 tournaments a year and he shows up the Masters and he makes the cut every year.
Yeah.
And he's around on the weekend because he just knows where to hit the ball.
Yep.
That's why Tiger's so successful there. Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson, anybody who's a past champion there, they know where they can miss, where they can't. That experience matters tremendously in this tournament. Report on the course. It is dry and it is fast. They're not expecting rain this weekend. That course is going to be running. This is one thing that I was curious. I wanted to see with DJ from when he played in November. The course was very soft. He had a couple misses that he got away with. They didn't hurt him because the ball didn't run out. That ball is going to run this weekend. The greens are going to be like putting on this table. Whoever putts well and whoever hits the ball straight is going to win that tournament. I think it's going to be a lower scoring tournament than the last couple of years, unless they get rain. If they get rain, then all bets are off. But
so Audio already came in. Experience in the Masters is key.
Yep.
I get it. So one of my guys is not going to be very experienced.
She's a golfer that Catrell conveniently left out.
I don't know why he left that out.
First 8 years.
Catrell's dating a superstar.
Yeah. Like an all-American
She's
golfer.
Like, like
told
top
nobody.
15 in the world.
Nobody told nobody. It matters. Obviously,
so you're going to go last because you're obviously the one everyone wants to wait for.
All right.
It's like you're the golf guy. You're the obscure sports with Bill Shawcross.
All right. Do we want to do?
We're giving you a section.
The obscure corner with Uncle Shally. Sounds kind of like dirty. Do we want to do? Do you just picking your winners? Because
I'm picking 2 winners, but bet them to pick 10.
Gene's got his list. I got my list. You got yours. Let's just run.
Okay, then go through
like
your whole
that.
list. I was gonna say if you want to do top 10 like long shots, we could do that separately. But if you just want to go through your list, go through your list.
No, I just have 2.
Okay, good.
2 guys going to make top 10. One guy's going to win it. Bryson DeChambeau is the one pick that I have. That's one of the favorites, and he bombs the ball. The guy is going to hit the ball a ton, and I think Bryson DeChambeau figured the course out a little bit on the last day of the Masters, the last time, and I think he is just super talented, and he's going to hit the ball further than everybody. He's got an advantage walking into the course.
Before you go with your second guy, did you see him practicing at the Masters?
With
I think it was, VJ was like, they were like, yeah, he's talking it up with DeChambeau. He was like, what'd you tell him? He was like, I told him he wasn't hitting the ball fast enough. And it was literally just him just smashing balls.
And he went through like rapid fire, like 10 in a row, like swinging as hard as he could. It was so.
He throw his back out.
Yeah, listen. I will tell you this: if he hits the ball straight, he's gonna be very hard to beat because he's a very underrated putter, and he has actually a very good short game. If he is not hitting that ball straight and he's hitting the ball all over that golf course, he's not going to make the cut like he did last year. That's where you're going to be.
Okay, well, he's my pick to win the whole tournament.
You got it.
And my other one's John Rahm. And I think John Rahm is, I think he's constantly finished top 10. There's your experience, Audia. Constantly finishes top 10 in the tournament. I think this is the year he breaks through. John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson's going to be your all or nothing guy. Like if you're going to bet him, bet him to win. If he hits the ball really well, he's going to win. And if he doesn't hit the ball really well, he probably won't finish top 10. So I would probably bet Bryson to win, and then John Rahm.
John Rahm's got one of the best nicknames on tour. He hits the ball far. They call him Rambo.
Rambo.
See, Rambo.
This is what I do. I pick.
Listen, he was one of my favorites. You just got to watch where his head's at. That's my only thing with him.
I talked to him this week, and he's fine.
Well, he just had a baby, so I know you didn't talk to him this week. So
he's super happy about the baby. He's playing the course for his kid.
Listen, he's absolutely top 10 to possibly win.
We were talking about that. He's like, listen, man, I got to play this course for my baby. Boy or girl, right? It's a male or female, right? He didn't get that joke. Catrell, right over his head. Catrell, give me your guys.
So I'm going with Brooks Koepka. I'm doubling down for my pick from November when the Masters happened. This is a guy. I mean, he's come close a lot of times. Finished 7th in the last Masters, and then he finished 2nd in 2019. I know he's had some injury issues. I just think that this is his time to finally get over the hump. And then I do have some long shots too. One of them is
Koepka is a long shot, FYI.
Yeah.
Plus 2,800.
Yeah, but he's like 8th.
That's a long shot.
He's like 8th.
He is because of his
on
health.
the list.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's far down. He's one of the favorites essentially.
Oh, listen, I mean, he plays that course. I mean, he was a bad tee shot away on 13 from possibly winning that the year Tiger won it. He had his tee shot on the par 3 in the water, amen corner. He doesn't do that, he might win that tournament. His big thing is health. He's absolutely one of my favorite 2 or 3 golfers in the world. I would love nothing more for Brooks Koepka to win the Masters this week.
And then I do have 3 long shots.
3 of them.
3.
So you have one guy to win it and 3 long shots.
3 long shots.
Jesus.
I got 8 long shots.
One is Justin Rose. He's played there 15 times, finished 2nd twice. He's always in the mix of top 10. Another one, Corey Connors, Kent State's own. He's finally like a name that's
He's had a
kind of recognized.
really good like last 6 weeks.
He's a name that's like recognized now. And he was top 10 in 2020. I think he was tied for 10th in 2020. And then another.
The funny thing is because it's true. Everything is
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because he's fat.
My last long shot, Patrick Reed. He won the Masters in 2018 and he finished top 10 last year.
I didn't know we were giving our long shots. I thought we were just picking our winners. Can I get my long shot real quick before you go?
I said to go through your whole
did.
list.
Okay, my long shot is Hideki Matsuyama.
Not a bad one.
That's my long shot.
Who
45 to 1.
Who put the thing up there about
From
Cabrera?
YouTube.
No, who put it up there from Cabrera?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's from YouTube.
Oh, it is from
Matthew
YouTube.
Brennan.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I, but he's awesome. He's listening to our show. Thank you, Matthew.
That's hysterical, though. It's true.
It's a great call.
Um,
He won't be participating.
you know, which is he does play that course well, which is funny. You good?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my first.
75 long shots, of course.
No,
he's
I'm not.
fine.
I'm not giving you 75. I'm giving you like 6.
Kidding.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys that are long shots / I think that have a really good chance of finishing in the top 10.
I'm writing them down.
Go ahead. Number 1 for me is Colin Morikawa.
Spell that name? I'm just kidding.
Great ball striker. Won the PGA last
Strikes the
year.
ball.
He won. What did he win this year? Won a big tournament this year already. Just a great kid, really good golfer. Will play this course well. Next is Cameron Smith.
That's the easy one. I can remember that one.
Yeah. Another really solid player, good putter. I would say maybe actually out of my long shots, he could be the best odds to win if he plays well. I thought you were going to say who I was going to say next. I'm off Rose just because he hasn't played in like 3 months because he's been hurt, so I have no idea what we're getting on Justin Rose. I'm going to say Adam Scott. He's another one, like always has like a bad day, always some like either Thursday or Friday, always makes the cut somehow, and then out of nowhere he's always there in the weekend. He's won it there before, knows the course, been playing there forever. Actually playing like pretty decent. Another solid bet for a top 10.
I was shocked no one said Webb Simpson. Why?
He's literally next on my freaking list.
Oh, my bad.
Webb Simpson, in case anybody was wondering.
I really like him. I just didn't.
He's cool. He's funny and he's cool. He's a quirky dude. He's
has
got
a
really
cool
quirky.
last name.
Yeah. Quirky dude.
Shameless plug.
But just he's one of those guys that just gets it done. Like he's the guy that would like show up at a golf course and you wouldn't recognize him, and he would just gamble you out of like your house. Like he just doesn't look like a golfer. He has all these weird mannerisms. He's really finicky, but he's just really good. He's a really good putter. Those are my top 4. I don't want to like. I think Jon Rahm has a really good chance to win the tournament. I don't know how he's going to be. He's had a really long, exhausting week. He's been flying all over the country. And then the other one is...
He's doing it for Baby Rahm.
He's Baby Rahm. He's playing for Baby Rahm. The other guy is Tony Finau. He's the last one I had on my list. He's got to win a major eventually.
So who do you pick in to win the tournament?
I got 2. The problem is the one guy, I literally sat down like a month ago and was looking at the Masters. I was like, I think he's actually going to get off. I think like this is going to be the perfect comeback story. I think this is where he's going to win. And then he went and screwed me in one last week, which is Jordan Spieth. I think he's a good shot to win. He's playing better than anybody. It's just there's only been 4 people ever in the history of the Masters that have won the week before and then won the Masters the next week. So the odds are against him, but he's playing well. My other pick to win is Justin Thomas. I'm going with JT. Won Players, playing well. Took a couple weeks off. He's been talking to Tiger. I think if he wins, you're going to get a dedication to Tiger. But those 2 guys are playing well. They have the game to win there. They're my 2 picks, Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth.
Okay. Good tournament. Good picks. PGA Tour. We got one last topic I want to get into.
Go.
In the NFL, man.
Yeah,
the
shout
NFL
out for a little bit.
The NFL trades and draft is coming up, and the NFL draft. You'll hear about us every week from now until the draft. We actually come on the night before the first round, which is incredible to me. I love that. I think that's going to be one of the most fun shows that we do. Couple big trades happening in the NFL, and I kind of want to break them down. Our lovely Philadelphia Eagles, traded back from 6 to 12. The Miami Dolphins traded from the San Francisco 49ers traded with the Dolphins from 12 to 3 and then the Dolphins then trade with the Eagles from 12 to 6. So San Fran obviously moved up to get their quarterback.
It's just a big mystery of who it's going to be.
Sam Darnold gets traded to Carolina, who takes a quarterback off the board, essentially. Like, you're not going to draft a quarterback if you're trading for Sam Darnold.
Not necessarily. I don't think that takes it off the board.
It does.
Especially, yeah, I don't think so. Especially considering.
I mean, he's on an expiring contract, and Teddy's up after next
and
year. So
they haven't. The reports are out already that they haven't decided what they're going to do yet with his 5th-year option. So I don't necessarily think it automatically takes it off the board.
I would be shocked if they took a quarterback. Like, shocked.
Yes.
I think that trade is bad news for us, is what I think.
I agree.
Because I think if any of the wide receivers are now there where they probably weren't in play for them before, I think they are now.
I agree with you. That was my point.
So we got outsmarted again.
So the first 2 picks are all but written down already. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are going 1-2.
After that,
that's where it becomes really fun because San Francisco has had so many different quarterbacks. Like, I've heard Justin Fields, I've heard Trey Lance, I've heard Mac Jones, which would be a horrible mistake at 3.
But there's literally been solid reports for all 3 of them.
Yeah,
so that's who they're taking.
That's my point. I think that that's the most interesting pick, and I kind of want to start there. Where do you think San Francisco goes at 3, and where do you think they should go at 3?
I think they go Mac Jones. It's from everything that I've read, it just seems that Kyle Shanahan thinks that Mac Jones is like the perfect quarterback for his system. I think Mac Jones is the 5th best quarterback in this draft. I don't know if
I agree.
I don't know how much justifying I can do taking Mac Jones at 3.
John Lynch agrees with you also.
I think that Justin Fields would be the guy that I take there if he's still on the board. And I also would take Trey Lance ahead of him. The issue that you have with Trey Lance, though, is that he played 1 game this past season, didn't look great in it, and Mac Jones is coming off a national championship where he played out of his mind. But I think you also have to factor in that Mac Jones was on a loaded Bama team. I'm not saying that that's his fault, but I think we have to take that into account. Like, when you're playing with the Heisman Trophy winner who's like 7'11" and always open, it's easier to throw balls into the space.
Please don't sell Chris Hogan's nickname.
When you're when you got some separation and it's you got
a
little bit of
nickname.
Wiggle room for error.
I mean, you could say that about any of the top 3 quarterback. Well, if you're not counting Wilson,
you can't because none of them play with the Heisman Trophy winner.
Clemson's talent. He won a national championship with
you cannot
the kids before.
You cannot compare those guys to Devonta Smith.
None of them are hurting to play with skilled players. Like, again, it's none of their fault. But
no,
again,
it's not.
Let's not act like he's playing with this and he lost Wild at the beginning of the year, so he had 1 good guy.
Devonta Smith won the Heisman. Let's not act like it was just like 1 good guy.
Okay, but
he's better than any receiver than you can think of. Like,
okay, you guys had a lot
on this argument.
Other than debatably Clemson. Every time Justin Fields stepped on the field, he had the best skilled players on his team. And you say the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. True or false?
Outside of who? Outside of Mac Jones?
Outside of any, both of them. All 3 of them, you say the same thing. Except when they were playing Alabama, every time they stepped on the field for the last 2 years, they had the best skilled players on their team.
Yeah. When they were playing, who they were playing. Yes.
Okay, so, again, like none of them are hurting them with playmakers or trying to make throws. I would take Justin Fields over Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is the 4th best quarterback. I've been high on Mac Jones since we started doing this show. He is not a prototypical Alabama game manager kid. The kid can play. Everybody wants to undersell him. That's fine. I think he's going to be a good I think he's going to be a good professional quarterback. Kyle Shanahan, I think, is going to lean that way because that in his core is what he wants to run. I'm not saying that's the correct pick. I think that's what he's going to do.
So you're saying Mac Jones is the pick, and you're saying you would pick Justin Fields.
Correct.
Okay. So
I would, however, no matter what situation, I would take Mac Jones over Trey Lance. There's too much unknown. Everybody that scouted him, as good as his pro day was, they all said that he has stuff he has to fix before he steps on the NFL field. So if you're taking Trey Lance, you are drafting Trey Lance with the understanding that he's not playing next year. I would not waste a 3rd or 4th overall pick on somebody that isn't ready to play. I think Lawrence is obviously going to start, and Zach Wilson's obviously going to start, and I think if you take either Justin Fields or Mac Jones at 4, both those kids are starting next year.
I just want to be on record and put pie in my face because this could be a really, really, really stupid comment. It's a really, really, really smart comment. I think Zach Wilson's going to stink in the NFL. Period.
Listen, I said it earlier. I
don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's
clear cut number 2.
Clear
cut.
I don't think it's clear cut. I think those two are very. They're damn near the same thing. The one thing I would lean towards Fields is he's played better competition.
Correct. Other thing I would lean Fields is that he's done it for 2 years now. Zach Wilson had one year where he's been the starter there for 3 years, and this is his first year like really coming onto the scene.
We're arguing Fields versus Wilson for their career. I think that Justin Fields, it obviously depends on the situation. They got to walk into the right situation.
And I said that, and I'm telling you for what, and this isn't, again, like you have to get away from like the whole thing, like just because you get drafted before something, that means you're better.
Correct.
That's not true.
I'm not away from that, man.
No, I know, but I feel like Catrell thinks I'm slighting Fields. I would rather have Fields fall to like 8 or 9 and go to Denver and walk into a better situation and be the better quarterback. If you're a Justin Fields guy, he's not going. Shanahan does not run that offense to absolutely utilize everything that Justin Fields is really good at. He doesn't. He wants to run a very like pro play action, type offense, like what he had with Matt Ryan. He wants a pocket guy. You are wasting Justin Fields at 3 if you take him in San Francisco. If you send him to Denver with all those young weapons, with a good line, he's going to be more successful there.
See, I think that's where we disagree because I don't think you're wasting his talent there because I think he could be successful in San Francisco. He may not be like putting up MVP type numbers in San Francisco, but that's a team that's built to win now, and I think Justin Fields can help them do that. Like they have the receivers that are going to be open. They have a good defense. They're going to be putting him on the field in a good situation because they're going to force turnovers or they're going to force, punts to happen. So I think Justin Fields can succeed in San Francisco, and I think he'd be a really good winner there.
Okay, so I want to address something that Dante said. I've never been high on Zach Wilson. We've talked about this multiple times on the show. I've never been high on Zach Wilson.
What did Dante say?
He said, I thought you were high on Zach Wilson.
Okay.
You take my analysis really well. No, I said he's going to go 2, and that's just because all the reports I'm reading and what the Jets are doing, like I think he's going to go 2. It doesn't mean I'm high on him. That's the start. All year, and then Catrell is my witness, all year I've said Justin Fields is, because I remember the argument that we came into the college football season. I said, is there a bigger gap between Trey Lance and Justin Fields or Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence? And I said the gap is bigger between Fields and Lance because Fields is that much better than Lance, and he's closer to Lawrence than he is to Lance. And I stick by that. Justin Fields is the second best quarterback in this draft.
I agree.
Dante, I love you, and I love your analysis, and I love that you watch so much college tape. You're wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I'm looking dead in the camera. You keep saying this kid's going to be a bust. He's going to burn out. He's not going to do well. You're wrong. You're wrong. I've never been more sure about a prospect coming out of college in my life than Trevor Lawrence. More sure than I was about Andrew Luck. Trevor Lawrence will not be a bust.
It'd be funny if Trey Lance ended up being good and the other 4 busts.
It would be.
I think Trey Lance has a really high ceiling.
I agree.
I think if you can get him in the right situation and he's coached well, I think he could turn into what Josh Allen is. Like I think he has that kind of talent.
I think that, just to answer my own question, I think that the 49ers are going to get smartened up and John Lynch or whatever, and I think they're going to take Justin Fields, and I think they should take Justin Fields. And to say, and this is the only thing I disagree with you with, Bill, I get your point that, like, what Shanahan wants to run. I get it. I understand it, and I respect it. However, you're not going to tell me one of the top 3 offensive minds in football can't take the second best quarterback that's coming out in this draft and make it really work really well in San Fran. I think Justin Fields wins a Super Bowl in San Fran if they get drafted there.
I'm not saying that he can. I'm saying I don't think he wants to. There's a difference. Obviously, Shanahan, I think, could coach anybody. I don't argue with that. I think the San Francisco thing is the crazy thing. I
just go back to his days in Washington when he was coaching with his dad and he coached RG3 to that rookie year.
He wants Mac. Lynch apparently wants
Lance.
And then there's other people that want Fields. So I don't know how that's going to shake out. I mean, I think that's going to be a situation where I don't think you're going to know until I don't think that will leak, because I don't think they're going to make up their mind until the day of the draft who they're taking.
One more question I want to ask before we get done, and then we got to get to you. Got to be kidding me, because we're going to end on time this week.
Yep.
The only question I have to ask is, at 4, all 3 quarterbacks are being taken 1, 2, 3. That's all set in stone. 3 quarterbacks being taken. Does Atlanta go Kyle Pitts like a lot of the mock drafts are saying now? Do they go Trey Lance if he's there? Because I know a lot of people in Atlanta love Trey Lance. Or do they go wide receiver? Do they go somebody on defense? Or do they go offensive lineman? Where does Atlanta go at 4? Or they trade back? Because that's kind of where I look at it. I think they might trade back because the 4th pick has become the most valuable one.
I think you only have 2 options. You either take Pitts or you trade back. It wouldn't, to me, it's always valuable adding, a great offensive lineman, but if it's going to just be Matt Ryan there, to me, what that's saying is we're going to give this thing one last shot with Matt Ryan. So if you're not taking, I don't see them taking a quarterback because of Matt Ryan's contract. And so if they're going to give it one last shot, I think you got to give him that. I think Kyle Pitts can be a generational talent at tight end. So I think that's the pick you make. And if you don't want to make that pick, then you trade back and get whatever you want.
I think the decision is actually more about Matt Ryan than it is what they want to do. There was a lot of talk that he might get traded because there's a lot of talk that San Fran was going to try to trade for him this year.
And now you know they're not.
Well, they're not, and Atlanta just couldn't do it. He's over a $50 million dead cap hit over the next 2 years if they traded him.
Well, which is why I think Trey Lance is the perfect fit for them.
It could, but
because Trey Lance is going to sit on the bench for a year and develop.
Yeah, but then even if you still go other than Ryan next year, you're still eating 25 next year. That's where I think it's tough. That's why I lean towards what Catrell said. I think they take Pitts and they go, all right, like the offense is now, like you're literally going to run out there. You're going to run out Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones. And then hope.
They're still going to win 6 games.
I mean, you never know. I mean, or do they trade back?
I think they trade back. That's my.
Here's the better question, though. I mean,
are you saying your question's better than mine?
No, but here
is a better question.
Well, I mean, it's a
kidding,
good question. Say San Francisco's Mac Jones. Do you not take Justin Fields?
I think that's wild that they don't.
But again, you're drafting a kid that
probably
isn't
you
playing.
Can't put Justin Fields on the field if Matt Ryan is.
Correct.
You can't have $50 million sitting.
You know
on
what
the
I
bench.
do if I'm Atlanta? And you're right about that. I then take the best offer and let them trade up to get Justin Fields. So if Justin Fields is sitting there at 4 and I'm Atlanta on draft day,
but then again,
you're playing roulette.
Yeah, you are.
You're what?
You're definitely playing roulette, like hoping for a team to get you the right offer.
Well, I could tell you exactly who comes then. I mean, that's Denver all day. That's why I keep bringing up Denver.
Yeah.
By the way, Shally is a closet Denver fan.
Oh, no, I don't make I make no bones about it, dude. Like John Elway's my favorite NFL player of all time.
Look at that.
Anybody who
no bones about it.
Anybody who knows me, I'll tell you that.
He wanted Carson to go there bad.
I did.
I respect it, bro.
I think any quarterback. I think if you're a young quarterback, you're crazy to want to go there with that offense.
I don't agree. I don't disagree with you. They got speed. They got Judy. They got a lot.
They have Judy. They have Hamler, and they have Cortland Sutton coming back.
Solid.
Plus 2 tight ends.
All right, guys. We'll get into more draft talk each week. Let's get into You Got to Be Kidding Me. Catrell, I'm going to get you started. Start us off.
So my You Got to Be Kidding me this week is going to be the Texas Rangers. They allowed their stadium to come back at full capacity, and I know it's been tough not being able to go to sporting events, and I'm all for opening back up with some moderation, but 30,000 people in one stadium, considering where we are at now, like we're just not quite there yet. Like I said, I completely understand that we've missed baseball and want to get back to the stadiums, and I like having fans back in the stadium, but to open it at full capacity, I think that's just irresponsible of the Rangers, and I'm kind of disappointed that no one else even outside of baseball stepped in and said we can't have you guys come back at full capacity. So for that, this week Texas Rangers.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me!
Scholastic Shally.
I'm sticking with Major League Baseball. I'm Piggybacking off Catrell here, I'm going with Rob Manfred once again, just absolutely just dropping the ball. There was a game between the Cardinals and the Reds opening weekend. There was a play to plate where Reds Nick Castellanos slid into home, knocked over their pitcher, got up, kind of flexed on the guy and like said something. Didn't punch him, didn't push him, didn't do anything. Yadier Molina, who is a very like old school traditional catcher, doesn't like people showing up as pitchers. He's done stuff like this before. They got into a conversation, had an argument, benches cleared. Nobody really threw a punch. There was a little bit shoving or whatever. They come out the next day and they said it was unprofessional, and went outside the lines of sportsmanship and suspended him for 2 games. So now I go back to last year when they suspended the Dodgers relief pitcher for 8 games for talking trash from the mound and making faces at batters. So you now have 2 non-physical confrontation suspensions by the Major League Baseball, but somehow, nobody from the Houston Astros got suspended for cheating. So we're still going back to that. So for me, for literally scoring a run and flexing, we're now suspending people in Major League Baseball. But for cheating and absolutely pissing on the integrity of the game, no suspensions because you agreed to rat on people. So for me, once again, please, somebody fire Rob Manfred. Like, he has to go. He's ruining baseball. He's terrible. So for me, that's it for me for the week.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
The craziest part about that is that kid that was at the plate, he got hit by a pitch. That's how he got on base. So, like, he was pissed about that and just let it, like, Yair talked to him, like, let it go. And so, of course, he comes back around and scores, and he's going to have some fire behind him. So, I'm 100% with you on that one.
I'm with you, too. I think that the reason he got suspended for the 2 games was the violation of the social distancing rule, but whatever.
Oh my God, that's even what they fell back on. That makes it even worse.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Mine this week is NBA. It's a little bit different. It's Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol has went to the Los Angeles Lakers this year and stunk it up. He's got one of the worst plus minuses in the entire league. His shooting percentage is down. His points are down. His rebounds is down. His defensive efficiency is down. So the Lakers went out and did a smart thing, and they end up getting Andre Drummond because they want to compete with the Nets. Now, I hate the Lakers. I'm not a huge LeBron fan. You guys know that from listening to the show. But it's the very smart thing to do is to get a really good center. So Marc Gasol on a team, after winning a championship 2 years ago in Toronto, gets on a Lakers team where he has an opportunity to ride the coattails and try to win another championship, who's way past his prime, who's not the player he once was. I feel like I'm plan D or plan E. I just don't know what my plans are, Like crying about his role on the team. Marc Gasol, whether you're the best player on the team or the 12th guy on the bench, someone needs to tell you that being a teammate means more than that. So for that week, Marc Gasol, come on.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Any final thoughts, Catrell?
I don't have much. It'll be really interesting to see how the reports that come out after the San Francisco visits Justin Fields' second pro day, and to see kind of where the stories go from there. So I'll be curious, and I'll be looking out for that.
He's going to kill it, and Kyle Shanahan's going to draft him. I got the what is that called? Spoiler alert. Shally.
No, I mean this is one of the favorite weekends of the year for me. I love the Masters. I love watching it. I know a lot of people don't watch golf, but it is literally the most gorgeous course on earth, and it's just always fun to watch. Always used to watch this tournament with my dad, so it's always a fun weekend for me. A little bit bittersweet, but I can't wait to sit around and watch it all weekend.
I know we're short on time. What's your storyline going into the weekend, like to watch for?
I mean, a lot of it's Bryson. I mean, is can he figure it out and overpower that course? And then it's all the other guys that like they all have something going on, like, or something going against them to win. All right, have some of it's stupid, like you're not winning back-to-back weeks. Brooks is coming off knee surgery. Can DJ repeat? No Tiger, which stinks. But after that report came out today, I mean, he's lucky to be alive. So
yeah, I think the storyline will be Tiger. and they'll talk about Tiger and him not being there, and that's what I think the story.
If Bryson is in contention come Sunday, that's going to be wild to watch.
I agree.
It's going to be wild to watch,
and he will be. I talked to him.
Well, you talked to a lot of golfers.
I do.
Week.
Me and him. Listen, John Rahm,
PG&A.
baby Rahm. Listen. Last thing I want to say, guys. Every month outside January, we run a huge promo where we went up a ton of downloads. Every month we went up on downloads. Every single month. I love the growth that we've had as a show. The views are a little down on Facebook, but the downloads are up across the board. I plead to you. I ask you guys to please share, download all our episodes. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Do us a favor and download all the episodes. It helps us more than you know. We're trying to get to that magical number in 1 month, which would be over 2,000 downloads in a month. We're getting close. Help us out. Share us. Thank you so much. Good, Bill. Do you have a question?
Nick Dolis won the...
Oh, sorry. Nick Dolis, congratulations for winning the bracket. I already congratulate him personally.
Okay, I knew he won. Did he pick a jersey yet?
He's looking for an old school baseball jersey. We're talking about it.
Okay.
When we pick the jersey out, we'll pick it out. We'll show it on the show.
Cool. Well, congratulations to Nick.
Congratulations, Nick. You're awesome. Sorry about that. I forgot that part. But that's it for this week. This is week 26, Wire to Wire. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night.